Hello, thank you guys for being here today. Super excited to have you all joining us. Appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. Have the lovely Lauren and Cordelia with me as well today, and we're going to talk about all things LinkedIn for your job search and beyond. So we'll have some time as well for questions at the end. But to kick us off, I'll introduce myself and then pass it to my lovely panelists. But my name is Jessica Harvilich. I am a national corporate recruiter here for Medix. I sit out of our Chicago office, but do the hiring all across the country for our experienced sales and recruitment hires. So love using LinkedIn, utilize it probably every single day. So really excited to be here hosting this webinar with you guys. So I will pass it off to Lauren. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Bear. I'm a healthcare professional working in an executive operations role for a large multi-specialty independent physician-led group in Chicago called Dooley Health and Care, which was previously known as DuPage Medical Group. I worked with Dooley for 20 years, believe it or not, starting in an entry-level position right out of high school. Soon after I started, I realized healthcare was really my passion and what I wanted to focus my career on, and I pursued my education as I continued to work at Dooley. I've lived and breathed healthcare outpatient operations for my entire career. I've had so many roles like receptionist, medical assistant, practice manager, director, and now executive director over the last 20 years. Although it would be difficult to choose an area of focus in healthcare, I feel most passionate about cancer program operations. My passion is leadership and investing in key talent. I truly believe that key talent can be found from within, and you really never have to go very far to find it. You just have to look for it, invest in it, and watch it grow. I've hired hundreds of individuals who have gone on in life to meet and exceed their career goals, and at this point, it's my mission to really help others grow. So I'm excited to be part of this panel. LinkedIn is a huge part of growth, and happy to talk to you guys today. Cordelia?
Amazing. Hello, everyone. My name is Cordelia Seidel, and I am our Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Employee Experience here at Medix, working with Jess very closely. And a little bit about me, I have worked here at Medix for 5.5 years. I started as a recruiter, so used LinkedIn in a lot of different ways as a recruiter, and then moved into a regional director of recruitment over our Midwest offices for the last 3 years. And then most recently, about 6 months ago, moved into my current role. So I've used LinkedIn in a lot of different ways, both recruiting folks, helping people find jobs, and then networking, lots of different perspectives there. So really excited for the conversation today and happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you both. We have a power squad here, going to learn a lot. So we are going to kick off this webinar with a poll question. So get out your phone. The question is, do you have a LinkedIn account? So feel free to answer on your phones really quick. I think we know what the answer is going to be here, but Lauren, when did you get your LinkedIn account? Out of curiosity.
Oh my gosh, I don't even remember. It feels like forever. It feels like it's just been a part of me.
Totally. How about you, Cordelia?
Yeah, same here. It may have been even in college, but definitely when I started my career, I had one. Definitely not as robust back then as it is today.
Amazing. Very cool. Well, awesome. Our results came in. So yes, everyone has a LinkedIn account, which I figured. It's like, I feel like the fifth social media platform now. You got all of them in the same boat, and then LinkedIn in there as well. So awesome. Thank you guys. Okay, next slide. All right, Lauren. So going all things LinkedIn profile. So what, in your experience, Lauren, like what do you think is a great way to really optimize that LinkedIn profile and some key aspects of it?
So, I think your LinkedIn profile can just serve you extremely well as an individual and really can act as that virtual resume. You really want to build your profile in a way that highlights your experience, hard and soft skills, in a way that's searchable to recruiters. One way to do this is to optimize keywords in your profile. You can do this by using the resume builder function on LinkedIn, utilizing your current profile if you're already on LinkedIn, and everybody here is. Or you can upload a resume if you're just getting started. From here, you'll be given a list of recommended keywords, and you can add depending on what job title you're aspiring for. You can build those keywords that are suggested and then follow the process over and over again, and you'll just continuously be presented with new keywords. This is a great way to optimize that virtual resume or profile. I would say always make sure that your hard skills are embedded in your headline, summary, and also in the position description from your experience, and it should be listed as skills on your profile as well. I would remember that your LinkedIn profile is a passive way just to really get your value proposition as an individual in front of recruiters who are really actively seeking to fill roles. And there's also, just a side tip, there's a ton of prominent HR and recruiting influencers that are on LinkedIn that you can follow for really great tips and tricks to optimize your profile and really gain more visibility.
Absolutely. And one of the ways you can find those, I know for me personally, is through those hashtags of, when people do those postings. So you can kind of follow the trend there and see what's trending. So love it. Thank you, Lauren. Cordelia, anything you want to add there?
The biggest advice I would share outside of what Lauren mentioned is, it might sound really, really simple, but making sure that you have an updated photo. We always kind of joke around here, like, this should not be a photo of you having a great time in college. This should not be a photo with multiple people in it, right? Making sure that you've got your photo updated, you're updating your banner, right? Making sure that it's clear that you're actively on LinkedIn. Even if you update everything below with the information, really being able to put, your face out there just helps people that feel that much more connected to you. So, that sounds very obvious, but I think that's something that's super important. And then, just as much as you can put on each of the different sections that describes really what are the things that you're responsible for, right? Very similar to what Lauren said. This is essentially your public, resume, so to speak, right? But also it shows some of the things that you might be doing at your company, and that might get other people excited to work at your company too. So definitely can kind of go hand in hand on both sides there. And then lastly, I do think it's always important to be able to put on, anything that you have from a volunteering perspective or organizations that you work with. That's a really good opportunity for people to see all the different connections that you have as well.
Love that. Yes. And the picture, so big. Yes, definitely not any at the Bears games or whatever football team you choose, you root for. But, even I know, professional headshots, might be expensive, but I know Walgreens and various places offer it. But even just if you got in front of like a white wall, or even like a blank blue wall or some sort of color, and just have one of your friends or family members take a picture, it really does go a long way and looks super professional. So amazing. And then again, just to add to, like, on the experience, as you could see on, Lauren's and Cordelia's down there, kind of talking about even some of like your accolades. Like if you won an award at work, or was, the recruiter of the quarter or recruiter of the year, feel free to put that in there. Again, don't feel free to shy away. It looks awesome, from a job seeking perspective, but even when you're talking to, people in your network as well. So really leveraging everything that you can there. So awesome. Thank you both. And then, as Lauren briefly mentioned, the keyword optimization, that's, a really big, part of, this of LinkedIn. Hey, I am a recruiter. I don't know what to put under there, kind of starting off from scratch. Maybe you don't have a resume. If you go to the top of your profile, right underneath your picture, go to the Build a Resume tab under the More. You can either upload a resume, as Lauren mentioned, or even just create from the profile, and then it'll bring you to the desired job title. So I just typed in recruiter, since that's what I am, but as you can see, as you type that in, multiple different types of recruiters come up, professional, HR a recruiter, all those different aspects. So picking a word that aligns best with what you are doing. And then as you can see all the way to the right, it pulled words from my profile already, the hiring, recruiting, LinkedIn leadership. But the most important aspect here, I think, is really just that suggested keyword where, those are all the things that LinkedIn considers as like the top keywords, associated with my job title and my past experience. So really utilizing that if you're stuck, as Lauren mentioned too, there's a bunch of awesome resources on LinkedIn and everything about that. So really being able to, utilize that to your advantage. So thanks for bringing that up, Lauren. Awesome. And I think we have another question here as well. So how often do you post on LinkedIn? I'd love to see the answers here. Lauren, you post pretty often, right?
I do. It was a goal of mine this year to post at least once a week. So just a personal goal that I had to tell stories.
And I'm assuming it's going pretty well from what I can see on your content.
I think it is. Yeah. I mean, it's really a creative outlet for me and just a way for me to tell some stories about leadership and help others, inspire others, and help them grow.
Of course. Awesome. So looks like we have one person that posts weekly, but the majority are posted monthly. So about 89% of you guys. So thank you for answering that question. And again, Lauren, I'll kind of kick it off to you too. I mean, what do you think is a great way, for, people to post on LinkedIn, or why really is it important to, continue to post on LinkedIn?
So first, I'll say there are many onlookers out there, and really to set yourself apart from the crowd, you need to interact. Really, that means liking, commenting on comments, on content that you really find interesting, and start a conversation about it. Really, the importance, you might say like, well, why is that important? Why do I have to like? Why do I have to comment? It's really about building your personal brand and building that extended network. It's really an extension of networking. And, I post on a weekly basis. That was just my own personal goal. There's recommendations out there. You might see like you have to post daily, or you should comment on prominent accounts 3 times a day. And I mean, I think it's up to the individual to decide what is best for them and what they have time for. But what I will say is, always remember you're posting on a public forum. And once you hit post, it's potentially out there forever. So, just ensuring that your content and comments represent your best self and is always very professional in nature is super important. Of note, if you're currently employed, it's very prudent to check your employer's social media policy ahead of time, just to ensure that your content is never in violation of that policy. So just a small disclaimer there.
Such a good point as well. Awesome, Lauren. Cordelia.
Yeah, I think on my end, the biggest thing, and I've honestly learned a lot of this from you, Jess, is just being active doesn't mean that you necessarily have the creative juices flowing every single day, or that there's something that you need to put out there every day. But exactly like Lauren said, I think one of the most important pieces is those liking, sharing, commenting, even if it's not something that you're just like creating from this super creative mindset every single morning, at the beginning of the day. Right. So I would encourage every single person to, when you sign into work in the morning, or even if you're not currently working, right, having LinkedIn be, the first thing that you open in terms of just having that tab pulled up. And I think what you'll find is the more time that you spend on LinkedIn, the more likes, the more comments, the more shares that you put out into, cyberspace, if you will. But if, you're really active from that perspective, you're going to continue to get more and more content that maybe you get to a point that you can reshare with maybe your opinion or your perspective on all of those things. So I think those are some of the things that I think about consistently with LinkedIn. And then the other thing is you want to be genuine. You want to be simple, right? When you're posting on LinkedIn and it is coming from, your own perspective or what's going on in your world or what you're trying to have others see, you want to make sure that it's coming from your voice, right? So, hey, for me, I'm super excited that we're going to be hosting this panel with this person, and, sort of some of those likes and hashtags, I think always go a really, really long way. So if you're ever like, I don't even know what to post, ideally your company has probably some links of things that you can post regularly often. Otherwise, there's obviously a couple of cool things here that we've got posted on this slide. Harvard Business Review always has amazing articles. There's a lot of really amazing thought leadership pieces that are out there that you can jump into and share as well.
Of course. Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like you said, Cordelia, to piggyback off of that, is just being your organic self. I don't think you have to stay up late at night and write up your LinkedIn post. I think it's, hey, what comes to mind that day, or what's going on even in your industry. As Cordelia said, like, utilize those accredited sources like that Harvard Business Review, and post an article maybe about, if you're in the life science space, what's going on there. As there's, of course, a million things. I think even utilizing polls to engage your network of, hey, like, I think a simple one, what are your thoughts on the work from home? Hey, just kind of engaging and getting that conversation started, because as Lauren said, similar to all social media platforms, there is that algorithm. So the more you post and the more people engage with your content, the more they're going to see, which again, obviously positively, impacts, your network and LinkedIn presence. So love it. We have another question that's going to be coming at you as well. So get your phones out. Oh, awesome. Have you applied for a job on LinkedIn? They're confidential. Again, if you work in Medix, if you don't work in Medix, wherever you work, again, just curious how many people have applied for a job here. All right. Ooh. Perfect. Okay, so 67% of people have said yes, and then 33% have said no. So super interesting here, considered the number one job platform in the world. So, Cordelia, I guess, to kick it off to you, job searching, how does someone start, and how do they really utilize LinkedIn to their advantage when looking for jobs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the most important pieces, when you're searching for a job through LinkedIn, do that extra, honestly, like 30 seconds to really explore the company's profile, right? Not just their homepage, but what do they post about regularly often, right? What are the things that the company obviously is putting out there publicly or externally about their organization, whether that's things they're doing with their teams, whether that's celebrating different historical months, whatever that might be, that will be able to show you, very clearly, is this a company that aligns with my values? And then of course the jobs piece. So being able to click right into that, opening up a job, there is a super easy functionality there when you're searching for a job on LinkedIn. And ideally the companies that you're exploring are going to be able to show, hey, these are our open jobs in this location. This is when they were posted. And then that quick apply is very, very convenient too. So, I think the biggest thing, coming from my seat from a DEI perspective, are we making sure that all of our content that we have within our company profile is updated, is, being shared in terms of the things that we're doing from an impact perspective, right? Those are the things that I would definitely suggest when people are vetting out companies. You don't want to be the person, in my opinion, at least, that applies to like 500 different jobs all at once. You want to apply to somewhere that you really want to work. And then from there, you've obviously already looked at the company page, you've applied directly on LinkedIn. You can even type in that company's, name on LinkedIn and see, are there any connections you can make with people that work there, right? Is there a Jess at that company? Maybe you can, connect with them directly and send them a particular message around, setting up a phone screen or something along those lines. So those are the things that come to mind there. In terms of keeping it super simple, you can always just go to the search bar, and let's say you're looking for a recruiter job, type into the search bar recruiter job, and then it will allow you to filter by location. and so on and so forth. So there's, it's super simple, but there's a lot of different avenues that I think can make it that much more beneficial for you as well. And then the last suggestion that I would have here is, yes, you are going, let's say in this scenario, you're searching for a specific job, right? But are there different networking opportunities or people that you follow that they might have a connection at a company that you're really excited about, right? Or maybe they posted something that you were really inspired by. Can you set up a 15-20 minute coffee connection with them to learn more about the organization because you're connected on LinkedIn or because you've been following their posts on LinkedIn? So those are the main pieces that I would share there.
Love it. So many good points there. Lauren, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, I would echo everything that Cordelia had mentioned. I think LinkedIn makes it super easy to search for jobs just based off of a variety of filters. So not only can you look for the job title, you could also look at a specific company that you're interested in. You can filter based off of position level, like whether it's entry level, executive, senior, exec, whatever. You can also filter whether or not you want a remote job or on-site or hybrid. And then you can save and watch positions directly on the site. Oftentimes, LinkedIn will share the recruiter's profile on the job posting, and that gives you the opportunity to directly message that individual. And also, that's the recruiters here. Jeff, are you cringing at that point? I think recruiters are definitely open to that. And you can search for members on LinkedIn as just for the specific role and company, as Cordelia mentioned. I would say never be afraid to reach out to others. The worst case scenario is that they just don't respond to you, but you haven't lost anything by taking that chance. The reward of being direct far outweighs the risk, in my opinion, because if you get nothing, you're right where you started. If you get a response, that could mean an open door for you. So definitely encourage reaching out and networking. I would say that there's been many times where individuals have reached out to me directly, asking about specific roles or just about my company, and they share their story with me, and I forwarded on their resume to my talent acquisition department directly. And personally, for me, for somebody to take this extra step and for me to actually take an extra step to forward their information, I need to feel connected to them and know a little bit about their story. So I might ask some questions to get that conversation flowing, but we've created a connection, and I think that's super important.
Of course. It's such good points there. Yeah, the only thing I'll add is like the last two candidates I've hired here at Medix, one in California, one in our Chicago office, came from not from a job posting, not from me messaging them, but from people in my network sending them to me thinking they're a good fit. So, I think, keeping that at the top of mind, of course, utilize that LinkedIn job function, but, make sure as well that you're networking, on the side with those individuals and, with those in your network too. So awesome points here. Cordelia, I'm going to kick it back to you for this one.
Amazing. Yeah. And I think, this kind of builds on what we were just talking about, right? So, as you go into the company profiles, really being able to dig into what are some of their purpose statements? What are the employee testimonials, right? What are the potential videos or photos or things that really show, like, for example, for us at Medix, life at Medix, right? Does it seem like a place that you would want to work? If there's an employee testimonial there, just like Lauren said, maybe that's the person that you reach out to and say, hey, Jadon, I saw that you, had a post on Medix's LinkedIn profile, like would love to learn directly from you. Like, what is it like to work at Medix, right? So that networking aspect beforehand just gives you that many more people in your corner as you go through the potential interview process, right? You're getting to know more and more faces, putting more and more faces to names, all of that. And then, being able, like I said earlier, being able to connect with different employees at the organization. You don't want to connect with probably every single person that says they work at a company, right? And just go ham on it. But at the end of the day, if you're really maximizing your opportunity there, that's the best way to do it. So those are the biggest things that I would say. Of course, there's other websites out there where you can kind of cross-reference, but if LinkedIn is really built out for a company's page, that just gives you the opportunity to then follow their company page and stay up to date with some of the things that they might be doing as an organization. Because I know for us at Medix, yes, we as individuals post relatively often, but our marketing team is really focused around putting consistent content out there that represents who we are as a company. And that's true for many companies at this time, right? So I think those are some of the best ways to just get a very good kind of like lay of the land. And I think if I'm not mistaken, just correct me if I'm wrong, but there's an ability for, if you find a company that you're excited about or an industry, then there's going to be some different pop-ups that will allow you to explore other comparable companies as well. So just a really good opportunity to make sure you've done your research. And hey, let's say you get the interviews, then you've already done some of the prep work. When you're searching for this job, you don't even realize, oh, okay, if someone asks you the question, why are you interested in working here? Your answer right then and there can be, I saw all these amazing posts that you guys have on LinkedIn, and it seems like a wonderful place to work for X, Y, and Z reason. This is why I'm super excited about it and why I think I'd be a really good fit. And then you're making lemonade out of lemons, I think is how it's
No, Cordelia, you're right too about that. I think too, even when you follow a company, if you're interviewing there, you can update it where you get notifications. So the day of your interview, you could look on LinkedIn really quick. What was the most recent thing they posted about? Did they post about an award they just got, or something that they just did, and really incorporating that info that's out there already for you to see into your interview. It helps. It goes such a long way, as Cordelia said, and really shows that you are interested in the company, but also from your perspective, it allows you to really see like, hey, does this company fit what I'm looking for, and can I see myself working here? Lauren, anything you want to add here before we wrap up?
I think Cordelia did an amazing job with that. I think that, yes, I think that there's some amazing tips and tricks that everybody can learn from just their network, and just getting out there and getting active is super helpful.
Awesome. Well, this was awesome. We appreciate you guys coming. Lauren and Cordelia, you are amazing. Thank you both for joining me today. Feel free to connect with all of us on LinkedIn. If you're interested in sales or recruitment opportunities, feel free to reach out to myself or Cordelia. And if you work in the healthcare space in Chicago, Lauren will be able to help you as well, and could probably make some connections. So make sure you're networking, make sure you're utilizing that LinkedIn. And again, feel free to ping any of us if you have any follow-up questions. But hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday. Thank you again for joining us here, and hope everyone has a great day. Thanks.